Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa.
Well, hello.
Hi, Lou. How are you today?
I'm doing well. The better question is, how are you with all of your festivities and goings on and things happening and traveling and parties and all of that? How are you holding up?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I could probably use about a week's worth of rest, but that's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah, I hear you. And for some reason, I've just been yawning, and I don't
You're
know
tired.
why I'm so tired, but it's a lot going on, a lot
Yeah,
going on.
That's right. You're
But
equally as busy as I
I
am. I
tell
don't know
you,
what you're talking about.
I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But Teresa, in the midst of the craziness, I did a hard thing.
What did you do? Like I don't know, right?
I know, right? I know. Teresa, try to pretend that you don't know a little better. Remember, we took acting lessons for this podcast.
Oh my goodness, didn't we?
I know.
We?
Teresa, do you ever think about that? We
I do.
took
I
those
miss it, Lou.
lessons. Do you miss it? I miss
I
it
do.
too.
I do
know.
miss it.
And Teresa, remember, talk about this episode is going to be about doing hard things. Teresa, that was hard.
That was very hard.
Taking those acting classes was very hard.
It was
You
so
and
much
I,
fun.
neither one of us wanted to do that.
I did after we got started. I really liked it.
Well, yeah,
COVID just messed up everything.
I know, but Teresa, that was so hard for us because, folks, when we took acting classes, they would, what do they call that? When improv.
Yeah.
You would come into classes and the instructor would just give you a scene and you're getting on the stage with other performers and you don't know where it's going because it's based on, what that person is doing or saying, and you've got to be quick enough to respond and make it make sense and make it be entertaining. And you're on the spot. And
it was a lot of fun.
It was a
Lou,
lot of
I
fun.
remember you was way into it.
Teresa, I was hoping by us being so great at acting that, we were going to be discovered and take earrings off with us. That was my goal. So I was giving it my best. But I tell you, didn't we meet? Teresa, did we meet the best people?
Oh my gosh.
Artists are really the best people. I'm telling you.
So much fun.
They were so much fun.
I don't want to call out the owner of the theater's name, but I even
yeah.
miss her.
I know.
She was a pickle, wasn't she?
Yeah, but you know what, Teresa, when you work in the business world, then you get around artists and people who are more creative. I just felt like I felt new life in those classes, a new, different type of energy. And it was just good to be around creatives and people who were, performers and in a different arena. And some of them, I mean, really, a lot of them were quite impressive. Wouldn't you say so, Teresa?
I totally agree. agree.
Yeah. And Teresa, remember, some people said they were taking, you and I were doing it for the podcast, but some people said they were taking the class to help them in their jobs, to help them build more self-confidence so that they can speak in public. And it just serves so many different purposes for people. So, I miss that. I miss that time. But Teresa, in keeping with doing hard things, which that was, I did a hard thing this past weekend. And Teresa, again, this is your chance to act surprised. I did a hard thing, Teresa.
Oh, wow, Lou, what did you do? Tell me.
Well, this past weekend, I had my first piano recital. And I
Yay!
so wish we had a bigger budget because I want bells and whistles and all kinds of things going on.
Right.
Because I tell you, Teresa, I've been taking piano we're really in October, it will be 3 years. And when I first started at the studio that I started there. I was there for about 2 years, and they never did an adult recital, which suited me, because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, yeah, they don't do recitals for adults. It all works. And then my instructor, whom I loved, he decided he was going to transition into a different role. And so he left the company. And so when he left, I was just so bummed because I just started learning to play. And he was so good and very patient with me. And, learning to play the piano that was very intimidating for me. I never had music lessons before. Nobody in my family played. I didn't take lessons when I was a little girl like other privileged girls did. None of that. But anyway, so I was very disappointed when he left and I transitioned to a new studio that I like just as much, right? But what I missed in the fine print was that nobody ever mentions that the adults do a recital, participate in the recital. And so when my teacher told me that, I just looked at him like a deer caught her headlights, like, what? What do you mean? He said, Lou, he said, okay, you're an adult, and I know you got adult things going on. So I can't make you do it. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But if you're going to learn to play the piano, you don't learn to play for yourself. You learn to play for others. And part of your growth as a pianist is you have to play in public. You have to play for somebody else. And so I said, no, I just don't think I'm going to be doing that. So I don't think so. But then when I went home, I thought about it and said, if I said I want to learn, and I trust him, and he's saying this is part of the process, then I'm not going to shortchange myself. And if this is part of the process, I'm going to do this. And so he and I got together and decided on my selection, and I have been playing the same song faithfully every day for 2 months. For 2 months. I'm tired of hearing the darn thing myself. But the recital was this past weekend. Teresa, I thought I was going to pass out. I'm serious. I
Yeah.
started to back out because I could have said, because I'm in the middle of moving and all of that, Teresa. I said, I can just say, and actually he gave me an hour. He said, well, you're really moving. You got a lot going on. Are you sure you're going to be okay? And I said, no, I'm doing this. So no matter how many boxes and things were going on, I carved out my time to practice every day. But I Saturday morning, I started to just say, this is just too much because I was nervous. The butterflies kicked in. And I said, no, I'm going. And I went and I was nervous. And when they called my name and they put my name up on the screen, Teresa, and they called my name, I almost passed out, but I went up on stage and I did it.
You did it. You did very well too. You were amazing. I'm
Teresa,
proud of you.
I was so proud of myself that I made myself do something hard. And folks, that's
Yeah.
what today's show is about. Um, pushing yourself, challenging yourself, learning new things. And it's easy to get comfortable and just say, you know what, especially as we get older, we tend to give ourselves an out. Well, I don't have to do that, and I'm not going to do that because nobody else is the boss of me. But for our own health and well-being, we need to push ourselves, even if we don't have other people pushing us, because it's for our own well-being. Teresa, you've been doing a hard thing too. And so when you say what yours is, then I'm going to show you how surprise really sounds. Okay, go on. Okay, so Teresa, you've been doing
Yes,
a hard thing too. What's your hard
yes,
thing?
yes. I took up photography.
Wow! Photographer, you shock me. Oh my, Teresa.
You know what? You're crazy.
Vicky would be so proud of us.
You said you
I,
said her
I
name.
said her name. I didn't say the name of the studio.
Yeah, yeah. But
Teresa,
anyway,
tell us about
yes,
your hard
yes, yes.
thing.
So had I've been wanting forever and a day to learn how to use a camera, right?
Uh-huh,
With
uh-huh.
all the dials and the settings and all those things,
A
because
real camera.
a real camera. The thing
Wow.
about cameras is, they do make them smart enough that you can point and shoot, right?
Okay,
You can
okay,
have
yeah.
a setting on automatic, and that's basically how the majority of folks use the camera, how I'd used the camera before, prior to
Right,
taking
right,
this class.
right.
Well, you know, there's so much, if you don't use that automatic setting, there's so much creativity and learning how to take pictures of
Yeah.
things. I didn't quite like taking pictures of people. I
You didn't
liked,
like that.
no, I like architecture and landscapes and just the outdoors in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
I enjoyed that so much. But the hard thing, that was easy. But the hard thing was I also didn't read the fine print. Who knew that the instructor would be giving us homework
Ah,
and a final project?
oh my goodness. Wow.
So the final project was really, really hard because we had to incorporate all the things we learned into a final project, and it had to tell a story. So the
Wow.
pictures you took had to tell a story, right?
Wow.
And I'm
Okay.
not creative at all. I mean, I stressed over this like I was taking a final in
Eh,
college or
eh,
something.
yeah.
And I had a lot going on that final week of class, and it was raining literally every day. And like I said, I like
You know,
taking pictures
right.
outside.
Right.
Well, I what I didn't I knew the people that I was in class with were very creative. Their
Really.
projects,
You
their
saw some of
projects.
their stuff.
Oh my goodness. We had homework and we reviewed each other's work each class night.
Yeah.
The first night, no one had anything complimentary to say about my pictures.
Ah,
I think I was the only one. I said that
really,
won't,
Teresa,
oh
really.
yeah,
Or was
that
that
won't
your
happen again.
imagination? I
No,
mean,
no, no,
really,
no,
is
no.
that what happened?
That's exactly what happened. And I said that will not happen again. And it
Eh,
didn't.
okay. Okay.
Except for
Yeah.
this final project, I was like, I'm screwed. They're going to come in there with these massive productions and I'm going to just be screwed. Anyway, because it was raining. And of course,
Yeah.
I waited till the last minute because I had all these other things going on. But
Yeah.
anyway, what I decided to do, because it was raining, I was in, I had a conference and it was in Petersburg, of all places.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, it was raining. So from my car, I took pictures of all those old church buildings down in
Yeah.
Petersburg. Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
my
They're
goodness.
beautiful.
Oh my goodness. That's what I did. And I took them through the front windshield. I took them through the side window down. I took them through I did different things. I took them from different angles. Girl, I was in Petersburg for a whole day till dark,
What?
driving around, taking
Take a
pictures
picture.
of the same buildings, different angles. I probably shot 1,500 pictures for my
What?
presentation because then you had to choose the right ones, right?
Yeah.
And they had to tell a story. Oh my goodness, they loved it. They loved the pictures. There were people who had never been to Petersburg and that they're going to go to Petersburg now because they saw my pictures.
Oh,
And
Teresa,
yes,
that's great
I
stuff.
was
Yeah.
so filled with joy. I really didn't want it to
And
end.
look at you. You were creative. You came up with something
I
unique to
who
do.
knew who knew out of my procrastination and well actually I didn't procrastinate. It just that it was a week of rain. and
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of other things going on. I did the following day, it was a full Sunday, a sunny day, and I went to Rockwood Park, and I took a bunch of snaps out there too, probably about 600.
Yeah.
And I had two options at that point. But the story that I was able to tell in Petersburg was much more compelling than the
Yeah.
ones. But I took extra pictures, and I prepared a presentation with the Rockwood Park thing too, just in case we had
Right. Right.
time. We had time to present some additional pictures, and we
Right.
did. And so I said, I volunteered. I was like, she was like, does anybody else have any pictures they want to share? I was like, I do. And
Ah,
so I shared that. And let me tell you what happened. So the turtles were out on the water on a log, a whole and on this log. This is my best shot. They were on this log. I got down on my knees and I took a picture straight on that log, and you could see them. There was baby, bigger and bigger, and
oh,
the turtle in the very front, the head was sticking straight up, and you could see that. It was, I think I can sell that one.
wow. What?
It was really nice. And
Teresa,
then
you at least gotta have that frame, blow it up and have it framed.
yes, yes.
What?
And then there was a bunch of wildlife going on that day because there were birds that were diving into the water, and I got pictures of that. And then there were vultures, these forgot what the guy told me. I think he said there were turkey buzzards
Uh-huh.
that were out on this log in the middle of the lake sunning because it'd been raining all week, and then all of a sudden we had this bright sunny day. So all this wildlife at Rockwood Park came out, and I was able to get some really good shots. I
Teresa,
even took a
seriously.
picture. I did take a picture of a little boy musing over the turtles. I didn't use it
Teresa,
because
that's good stuff.
I didn't use it because I think you have to have permission for
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
People, so
We don't
but
want you in
yeah,
trouble.
no.
But Teresa, stop. Teresa, seriously, just you telling that,
Yeah.
I could hear the excitement in your voice. You really like that.
Oh, I love it. I love, love, love. I
How
love
long have
it.
you wanted to do that though?
For a
And
for
what?
a for a long time. So, I guess there was some backstory. Back when I was in college, my work study job was in media,
Uh-huh.
and we took pictures and video on campus of step shows, of events, that was my job.
Yeah.
And we were literally taught how to develop uh film because there was no digital cameras back then. So we had a dark room and all of that. So I did that in college, but I never ever did it again. I never did it again. So once I was married, I had shared that with Robert,
Mm-hmm.
and for one of my presents, for Christmas, birthday, anniversary, I can't remember which, he bought me a 35 millimeter camera with a zoom, a big camera.
Yeah.
It was film,
Uh-huh.
right? And somebody broke it.
Uh-huh.
One of these children in my
Uh-huh.
house, I'm
Uh-huh.
sure, and nobody claimed that they
Yeah.
broke my camera. So I took it to the store to try to get it fixed, and they said they couldn't fix it. Right?
Oh,
And I was so disappointed that I
then pursue it.
didn't pursue it anymore after that. But it was always on my heart and mind to do it. And finally, it was something that I actually read, and you alluded to it earlier when you were speaking about doing hard things and about how doing hard things enhance your life
It
and your
really do.
confidence and all of
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
read something. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up for this class. So I went to sign up for the class. It was full. And I put a reminder on my calendar to try to sign up for the class. It was at the VMFA, to try to sign up for the class again. And at that time I got in. I was able to get into the class because the class is small. And then, there's a part two. I didn't expect that the part two would fill up so quickly before the class was over, but it did. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't with us.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us that were in the class didn't get a chance to get in because the
Right.
class part two filled up. So I'm going to do that next fall. I'm going to take the part two, but I'm practicing right now. So by the time I get into part two, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready.
That is good stuff.
Yes,
That's it.
I love it.
Eh, well, and I'm gonna tell you, really, we do when we talk a lot on this show about our health and wellness and our quality of life. And it what I said earlier, I think is so true. When you become an adult and you make your own choices, yeah, people aren't pushing you to do things or telling you you better do this or, this is going to benefit you later. You have to do that for yourself. You have to motivate yourself. And the reason you make your choices because you're thinking of the end goal.
That's right.
When I thought about playing the piano, of course, in my mind, I saw me playing and reading music and, if I wanted to, playing at events, but I can't get there until I do the steps. I
You
can
got to
get
take the step.
there. Yeah, but I gotta put the work in. I gotta walk through the hard parts um to get to that point. My teacher said after my recital, he said, "Look at you. Remember when you were playing by numbers?" And that's the first thing you do. But he said, now I can look at a sheet of music. He said, and you know what? You can play it, you can read it. And he also said to me before the recital, I said, because sometimes when I played my piece for him, I could have played it perfectly at home. And when I got in front of him, I would miss a note or it would throw me off. And he said, listen, don't react. You don't react to things. And I thought about that for life. When things happen, don't go down the rabbit hole and saying, well, you know what? I missed that or that was a mistake because he said, because if you don't react, many times the people they aren't going to notice that. You keep going. Don't stop. Keep pushing through and then you will be at the end. And so when I thought about that, just Teresa, for life lessons that we want to see the end, we're hoping to accomplish something, but we got to start, have the courage to start, have the courage to stick with it, and even when it gets hard, to keep plugging through it so that you can become that photographer or pianist that you want to be, not comparing yourself to others, but that gets you to your goal. And so that's what this episode is about. I remember, and I mentioned this before on a prior podcast that Tiger Woods' dad always talked about his mental toughness. And that's what conquering things and doing something hard will do for you. It will make you mentally tougher. It'll help you gain your confidence because I tell you, after I finished Saturday, nobody could tell me that I was not a pianist. I mean, I thought I did something. I giggled so much after. It was like a little schoolgirl. I laughed all Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just full of myself after that because it's
Yep.
like, I did
Yep.
it. I
I
played in
know.
public.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is I had the exact same feeling after my presentation. I was so giddy. I was
Yeah.
so giddy.
Were you
Especially
really? You were like
I
that
really
too?
I did because I didn't expect the reaction that I got from
Yeah.
folks,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
played with the lenses, I played with the settings, and the same picture didn't look look the same um building looked differently based on the shot. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it was just amazing. But
Yeah.
you're right, Lou, the brain, the health, the confidence, But one thing I wanted to bring out is that I read a benefit of doing hard things and learning new things is delaying cognitive decline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a biggie as we
It's huge.
age. Yeah,
It's huge.
yeah,
It's huge.
yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
hopefully that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I believe that absolutely is what we're doing. But Teresa, also what we're doing is experiencing joy
Oh yeah.
in doing new things. It's fun. And that's good for you. It's good to laugh. It's good to feel joy at the thought of you did something that you wanted to do. And sometimes when we go along day to day and we might get a chuckle here or a chuckle there, but to really experience joy, I tell
Right.
you, that's good for us. It
That
is
is so
very
good
good
for us.
for our health and our well-being. So, folks, don't forget, think about something you want to do and just get out there and do it. Go
Just
for it.
do it. Go for
Just
it.
do it. And we believe that you will experience joy just like we have with our lessons. And as we go forward in learning new things and doing some hard things, that is our wish for you here today at Earrings Off.
Take good care.